Hi everyone and welcome to T-Chat 273. I'm coming on to talk to you about the week ahead of August 30th through September 5th, 2025. I hope you're all doing really well. Thank you so much for being here on Patreon. I do have a little bit of housekeeping that I want to go over with you all before we get into the week ahead forecast. So yeah, let's just get into it. So yes, for housekeeping, August was a little bit of a crazy month for me, you all. It was wild how it all kind of was working out, but yes, I had worked ahead quite a bit in July because I intended to take a bit of time off in August. And as it ended up happening right at the beginning of August, my dad actually did have a major stroke, and I had to definitely devote all of my attention to that. And thankfully, I had some of the work done in advance, so it did not disrupt our content cycle too bad on Patreon, at least. Now, not much was able to be done on YouTube other than the mid-year update video. And I've just come from filming the September comprehensive astrology video as well, which I was enjoying so much to get done, and that should be going up in the next day or so. But yes, I definitely have been having to work with my dad pretty much full time. And he's been having to go different places, and we're still not really sure exactly what to expect with that, as it's all kind of in limbo right now. So I would definitely appreciate any prayers. And yes, as I got up towards about the 4th week of August here, I had to make a decision. You know, am I going to be able to do YouTube work and Patreon work? And, you know, I just thought about it. I prayed about it. And as of now, I think that I'm okay. I am moving a little bit more slowly. And it might be upwards of the 2nd or the 3rd of September before all sign by signs are completed, though I will begin to post whichever ones are available on the 1st. It's been nice to have something to do when I do have spare time. But as you guys know, this is very much a full-time job, and it's not really something that you can look at in its current form as like a hobby for sure. So I'm definitely having to work with some creative time management in order to cover all these bases. But yes, of course, if anything crazy happens, I will definitely notify you all if I need to step away, or I'll definitely keep you updated. As of now, my dad is okay. It's I won't go too much into the super intimate details of it all, but no, he's definitely you know, not able to return home right now, and it's been very much a matter of working with some of like the institutional settings and you know, just it's wild how many issues come up from so many different directions, from, you know, health to family to just all kinds of decisions you never knew had to be made. So that's been very all-consuming, as I'm sure some of you might have gone through something like that before as well. And yes, a lot of sleep deprivation. The heat was crazy in August. We had like basically a full August of 100+ degree days, and then going all around the state as well, to different places. And it's been a month. But of course, going through all of this makes me very curious to look into some of the astrology. And there's been, with Jupiter in Cancer, it's really activated my empathy and psychic abilities even more strongly. So it's definitely not a hard time to do this work from the perspective of, you know, connection and insight. It's just been more so on the time management and organizational side, I think. And can't you see this Virgo season coming up and the solar eclipse in Virgo oncoming? And yes, that Virgo Pisces axis is very strong in my own chart. Of course, I have my own Saturn return that's not even in degree with these retrogrades. And of course, I have Saturn in Pisces. It's more so in the middle degree area. So I thought I was through the woods, but not quite yet, it looks like, apparently. But yes, I was hoping that things would totally recover and just go back to normal on the front with my dad by the time that, you know, September came around, and that nothing would be disrupted. But no, I'm still going to be having to give quite a bit of time to it, and still praying that things do recover and get back to normal. And as of now, I feel capable of, you know, meeting my obligations here on Patreon for sure, and a bit of YouTube. But if anything changes, I will, as I said, notify you all. But as of now, I think we're good to go. There might just be a little bit of like 1, 2, 3 day kind of delays at the most. But I've actually got, I think, about 8 of the sign-by-signs done already as I'm coming to you all today. So I think that we might even be able to hit the September 1st deadline that I usually always try to meet with this Patreon content. But anyway, any other housekeeping items to go over? Just that I'm doing okay. I'm sure that some of you are curious. And again, I appreciate your prayers. I appreciate your kind messages and responses, but I am okay. I've had time to catch up on some rest. I definitely, before I prepared to do this content, asked myself, am I in the place to do it? Am I okay to do it? And I felt that I was okay to do it for now. It's a challenge, but it is, I think, a challenge that I'm willing to face. And I am curious about what September has to offer, because September is always a big month for me. And for certainly more than me, it will be for the collective this year as well. But I was definitely curious to get into some of the energy myself as well. So I'm doing okay. And if anything changes, I will let you guys know. But yeah, let's get into the content at hand, and let's talk about August 30th through August 5th. So August 30th, our final day of Saturn in Aries, as September 1st, Saturn goes back into Pisces, and can't we feel it? We were not out of the woods, okay? A lot of us, or some people, or you might know people in your life who got into that new frontier mode with Saturn and Neptune in Aries, got into that Fool archetype, and now we're going to have maybe a little bit of a whiplash as things start to go back to the way that they were, and we start to get back into that hyper feminine, hyper yin side of things. We have certain backtracking to do. Okay, we have some unfinished business to tackle. We have the past becoming very relevant again, but it's coming up in a different way than how we've experienced it over these last few years, having had all that water and earth energy for so long. So this is in a more processing, organization-oriented lens that we're working with the past now. You guys might have remembered for quite a bit of this year, I've been talking about the emphasis with the South Node in Virgo placed on organization, compartmentalization, and putting things into the appropriate containers, okay? That's certainly a big thing here. We are in very, very strong Virgo season, and there should be a feeling or a knowing of like, okay, I know where things are. I know where things need to be. There could be kind of like some sorting or processing of various things in our lives. We might have to transfer things. We might have to consider, drawers, closets, accounts, houses, all of this kind of 6th house Virgo oriented stuff. Maybe something that really comes up during this time here. And with the Saturn retrograde back into Pisces, and this being the first week that Saturn goes back into Pisces, we may get an emotional element to this. Okay, we may have to really balance the emotional and the mundane as the Pisces Virgo axis does queue up. And it's such a strong axis here because we have Saturn retrograde into Pisces, and we also have Mercury going into Virgo. Of course, we have the Sun in Virgo and the South Node in Virgo, Venus going later this month. But I mean, it's like Saturn and Mercury both activate this axis so strongly. And there's going to be so much coming up here of a navigation of sorts of life in a brand new way. So like, I think I said in the September comprehensive astrology video that it's a good old dose of life coming in during this time. And on one hand, you have that sort of kismet and that destiny represented by Saturn and Neptune going back into Pisces. And then you have that more mundane, detail-oriented, human level, day-to-day sort of diurnal element of Virgo. And we have both of these. So it's very hard for some people. Some people will break during this time. Some people will lose track of every single thing. If I were a different kind of person myself, or if, for example, I didn't luckily have quite a bit done in advance before this happened with my dad, I probably would have had to take a leave of absence, okay, in order to face that stuff. But luckily through organization and through practicing what I've preached, You know, so far it is continued, it's able to be sustained. But, you know, a good old dose of life can change that. And nobody, regardless of how organized we are, or regardless of how much we have done in advance, it doesn't really matter after a certain point, because certain things do have to yield to the force of the universe, and certain things cannot be sustained after a while. But the point being is, like, you'll start seeing things like this. You know, people might have emergencies come up in their lives. People might have unexpected